Hello, welcome to the Everton Daily Live. It is Friday the 21st of June and Everton are moving closer to having new owners. Friedkin and Moshiri and the Friedkin group, namely Dan Friedkin, have entered into a period of exclusivity, which is him doing due diligence. The Premier League will have a little look at him and go, yeah, he sound him, lad. He's got some go. Yeah. Unlike the last guy. And Everton should really be owned by somebody else very shortly, Ped. It seems. Is this good news? I mean, it's the news that we've been waiting. This announcement, basically, has been ready to go since Monday, hasn't it? And it's bobbed along this week, but it is there now. Came out last night, of course. And are you feeling a little bit more optimistic with how it's going?
I'm not really feeling anything. I'm keeping powders dry because I think that's probably the best way to be at the moment. The guys come in. There's a lot of positive talk about him, but he's got to look, hasn't he? And he's got to look. He's got to have a little look and see what's what. You'd imagine he'd have a good grasp of what's going on. Most of Everton's issues are very, very public. So if he was to find, I can't imagine he'll find any more because everyone's done a forensic look at Everton. But if he does, and that's just the way it is, isn't it? That's just the way it is. But the assets, so much potential with Everton, I think. Yeah. We've said this for ages, and maybe people outside the club have looked and laughed at that or whatever. But I think there is so much potential with the new stadium. I think, the way American owners like to do things is get really into it, and start creating and generating. Which, to be honest, we've seen what Liverpool have done. I mean, you can have that comparison because their owners have come in and built 2 new sides of the ground, made the big stand absolutely humongous. Not to sound like a broken record, but attracting concerts and things like that, adding to the value of the club, and that's these new owners understand that it's more than just a match day. It has to be like a round the year situation, and it's about the not just the stadium but what goes around it. And Everton right now, or an owner of Everton's got an absolutely fantastic opportunity to start purchasing land around the new stadium and making it what it wants. We'll see. It's a fantastic opportunity, and this guy understands the Premier League is the big place to be. He's got Roma. That's good, and it's a big brand. But being in the Premier League on its own is just massive, absolutely massive. And the next few years, I think the Premier League will continue to grow in America, and we'll start pushing to try and be one of the top sports over there. I don't think football as a whole necessarily will. I think the brand of the Premier League will look to start growing as one of the big things. It's a unique thing the way it is over there. It's probably one of the only sports in that country that is played for 9 months. Everything. NFL's a bit shorter. Baseball obviously starts in the summer. It's NBA's a little bit shorter. To get that, to get 9 months of the year where you're generating cash, that's slightly different. I think also it's seen as a slightly different family-friendly sport because of the times it's on over there, more in the morning, and families sit down and watch things together. And I think he'll see it as a massive opportunity. There's something where certainly Serie A is a little bit. It's not quite become the opportunity. We've got all the big names out there. You got all the as in clubs, but we know that the players don't go there now. We know there's a real problem with the stadiums in Italy as well. There's only really been one new stadium in the last 20 odd years, and that's obviously Juve. The Milan clubs are looking to get theirs are all designed and they'll start getting built. Roma, we said this a few times, Dan Mice designed their stadium and it looks magnificent, but they can't get it off the ground. The Italian system just seems to be bogged down in so much bureaucracy and I don't know. I don't know. There just seems to be a lot of issues over there. Whereas over here, obviously, it just seems like a lot of, even with Everton's problems, the roof from where we are now to something a lot better isn't that short.
No,
because of the stadium. Because of the stadium, basically, which you know, by the time this time next week, one side of it's going to be basically completed. You know, the roof, the barrel section, that's going to all be done on one side, the side that we look at from the road, and suddenly you're going, wow. I think a lot of people like that anyway. So what an opportunity, and it's nice that it does seem like this guy's gonna understands the weight of it as well.
He's already got, obviously, experience of being inside the football club. Roma have just posted net profit again, haven't they, today? That was out this morning, that news. There it is. Roma records 25% increase in net profit over the last year. That's come out from Rome today, showing the huge turnaround in fortune since he went in. They went in there. And so that's obviously a positive. He'll have a direct comparison in between the football clubs. Like you've just said, the opportunity to go into a club that is waiting to pop. The fan base, the stadium, massively historic football club, massive football club, Everton. It is.
Yeah.
Historically, it's not a massive team right now, and that's just the way it is, but it's certainly a massive football club. It's ready to go, and the opportunity is there. And Premier League clubs, and good Premier League clubs, don't come up for sale very often. He's obviously seen.
Bad Premier League clubs do now and again.
Yeah.
No, the history is, again, the history is huge, you know, and Americans love buying into history. They really do love buying. It's just part of what sort of rich Americans have done for the last 100 years or more, is bought into, without being disrespectful, because they don't have that their own history as such in terms of some of they like buying ours. They've been doing it for, as I said, they've been doing it for well over 100 years, coming to Europe and taking things themselves. And
I mean, Everton's only 100 years younger than America itself.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. And also I think it's what you can make Everton. I mean, I don't think we are sitting here going, we're gonna get back to the top, we're gonna be Champions League team and all that kind of thing. I think what we want is, we want to just be given the chance to have an opportunity to try and start making our way back to the top, and you know, start trying to compete and just having pride in our football club and the whole setup, really. And we just want someone to come in who understands that. And Moshiri sort of thought he knew how to get us where we wanted to be, but really didn't, and that's obviously the huge problem. So, as I said, I am just sitting here and I'm not getting excited about it. I wasn't excited about when it all first came on. There was like 4 or 5 on the table. Now that there's one, we'll wait and see. There's no point getting there's light at the end of the tunnel. But what I do think is it's been said, because of that stadium, you know, there's a lot of people in the last 6 months doubting whether we should have built that stadium. Which fair enough. I understand why, but I do feel like that stadium is propelling us forward.
Yeah,
you know, and so therefore, as I've said this a few times, when John Textor said, I don't think I'll buy Everton, because by the time I get my shares sold in Palace, it won't be. That to me was the sign that he knew, and a few that out there was a few people waiting, serious people waiting to take Everton forward. And it's just weird. It's funny the way it's played out. A year of just craziness and everything, but hopefully
Everton are in some respect, Farhad Moshiri played a blinder in some respect. I mean, I'm not convinced that was how it was meant to be. And if it was, he's played an even bigger blinder. But that's how it'll work out, because, you know, we've got something coming out on Premier later that I done with John yesterday ahead of this. And John, you know, some really interesting points and how the business would look and the kind of things that'll be paid off and who's in line for what. Obviously MSP, I think that's been massively reported that they're getting paid off immediately once this goes through. They'll be out the picture, thank God.
Yeah.
That's one out the way. And then
Rights and media, so they can start dictating to us.
Well, it's whoever now is the biggest drag. This is what John was saying. Is the interest rights and media, or is it 777? Well, if we believe everything we were told, there was no security on 777's money as such. So therefore, you would expect rights and media to have the bigger interest. And so if we can pay that off or whittle that right down to a small number, so it's still a facility if you need it, but the interest drops.
It can be a facility no matter what.
No, that's what I mean. A lot of clubs use it, so it is what it is. But what
there might be penalties in it, though, mightn't there? Because you're paying off loans early. There might be some penalties in it. I mean, when you get high interest loans, they don't want you paying it back.
Oh, of course they don't.
They don't want you paying it back quick. So there might be some, but it's clear that it's clear that we need to get that right down, because these people have a massive say in our football club because of how much money they've got invested in and the stakes of if we were to default on that. So
Steve Frederick says it's 6 a.m. here in Colorado, but I had to watch this live.
Nice one.
It's right, Steve. It's interesting. Listen, it's good news, but like Pez just said, until it's done.
Listen,
we have to. I know. I spoke to a couple of people this morning in and around the media and the football club, and both are like, it should be a breeze, this.
Yeah,
because he's
absolutely
had to present more than what 777 had to at the start, the way it's worked out. They've evidenced they've got all the money in place, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Therefore, it should be quick. 4 to 6 weeks, someone's saying. Brilliant, if that's the case. I think you're seeing some small evidence at the football club that things should go that way, and therefore a more relaxed in approach in terms of player recruitment and thinking what comes next. But the reality will be when they get in, what do? Alan Myers should be the first phone call he make. Get him in and get him back at the football club. These next 2 years are crucial of driving Everton Football Club forward, communication and all that. He should be the first port of call. And then from there, they need to put in a new CEO, let Colin get back to doing what he does best.
They're not left for him to do well.
Well, he's still overseeing everything else, and get that board up to scratch. Whether it's a chairman, whether it's Ryan Friedkin comes in. According to some reports, he's going to have a role at Everton, so I don't know what that'll be. I can't imagine he will be the CEO, but he's going to have some. I mean, what's your feeling on that? On the face of it, is it good? Is it good? Can it be perceived as good that his son, who's in mid-30s, would get involved in the football club so that they really have got a hands-on, we want to do well at this club?
Yeah, I think boots on the ground are important. I don't know anything about his son, so I'm not gonna. But listen, if his son is following in the footsteps of his father,
well, his father took over his father's career.
I imagine his son is well educated.
Yeah,
I'm sure he's well educated, so I'm sure that it will be a good place for his son. I'm not sure it's where he'll be starting, but I think I'll have to have a little deeper dive into that. But having someone at the club who can relate the problems back to his father, rather than maybe someone who maybe doesn't give a full picture of issues. Apparently he runs Roma today. Is that the son?
Ryan does. That's right.
So it's good to have that person on the ground, and as I said, he's going to be a well-educated young man who I say young man, he's probably only a few years younger than me.
He's 35, he's 34.
Couple of years younger. Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's it. That's really good. I was listening. Well, I seen Astro on an interview with the Echo yesterday about
well versed and Dan Friedkin.
Well, Astro works in business.
I'm just asking.
No, but Astro has a business, doesn't he? And he also sounds a bit weird, this, but also because he's in the Air Force. And Friedkin's like a
pilot.
He's a pilot, but he's not just a pilot. He's in a display team.
Oh, John was
and only something like 9 people in the world are in this display can be in this display team or something. And he founded it, so he asked Astro about it, and it was just really interesting listening to some of the things Astro was saying about, you know, just like that attention to detail that you have to be one of these. You know what I mean? You can't just jump. You can't just jump in at one of these old planes.
Is he in the Blue Angels? Is it not the Blue
Wasn't
Angels?
that in Police Academy?
That's the Blue Oyster.
Sorry.
But that display team.
No, it's not. It's not like the Red Arrows because
they've got their own version.
It's flying It's flying the planes from the Second World War.
Oh, okay.
So it's.
But obviously,
so it's in the Echo, and Astro's going to come on and give us a bit. He said he held it a little bit back for us.
Top man.
So he said this is a guy who is. You know, it's all about the detail because you have to be in that line of work. You can't just, and I think that shows the character of the man. You know, this is a guy who earned money in finance, and he owns what's it called, Gulf Toyota, which is basically the largest Toyota sales in the south of America. South of the country, America.
He sponsors at least 2 stadiums in America.
So there's an opportunity, maybe that Toyota. I know there's a thing with resorts as well. He's part of that as well. So a resort that he's
even their little video presentation of about 4 minutes about the Friedkin group was put together tremendously. It's like a movie.
Well, that's what he does. He produces films as well, and he actually, like, he's not. You know, I know Bill produced films, and when you go on his IMDb, they're not the greatest in the world. This fella produced, like, you know, Flowers of the Thingy on Moon, which, you know, was up for Oscars.
Shine on Harvey Moon.
He did with yeah, very much so, very much in 80s reference.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's produced films that have gone for Oscars. He famously flew the planes in Dunkirk, which I think is a magnificent film. So yeah,
but I think that's incredible.
Very interesting.
In itself,
very interesting. Yeah, very interesting man. Very interesting man. And
well, our mate Keith Winers has been, you know, using his knowledge and his wisdom on Football Insider.
Yeah, go on.
But he said, what he said was he was the one who he excited him the most out of all the groups. Okay. The stuff he'd said he'd done some digging around all of the main consortiums who were in for Everton, and the Friedkin group was the one he was the most interested in.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether that's a good. Keith Winers in his defence was very. I mean, wasn't hard to be, but was very critical of obviously the 777 stuff. But he's basically backing this is the best one for Everton.
Yeah, I think so. I'm just looking at his son there. Son produces films as well. It said, it says Ryan Friedkin is known for The Triangle of Sadness. Welcome to Everton. That's a film.
Oh, okay.
Fair play. And Blackbird.
Was that from some of his ex-girlfriends?
And Blackbird. There you go. Yeah.
That's good, isn't it? It's good that, you know, there's people in, obviously businessmen, like you've just said, attention to detail. They took a different route. They're involved in the entertainment business, which is, I think, is a huge thing, because football allegedly is about entertainment.
Yeah, apparently. So someone told me.
Also about perception, and obviously films are all about perception. It's literally what they are. How you create a story, how you present that story. Well, whoever wrote Everton's story in the last 30 years has been utter shite, hasn't it? And the way it's been presented hasn't been great as well. And hopefully this is the opportunity to, nice film reference here, to come in and write a new script for the football club. That is, you know, will hopefully move forward. And I think the fan base are ready. They're ready to, like I said, they're ready to pop. They support something. You know, you through thick and thin. Well, it's been massively bleeding thin for a long time, and it isn't like when Man City got taken over and it was easy to just spunk money everywhere and all of that. Them days are gone. So it has to be attention to detail. It has to be planned meticulously. You have to enable people at the football club who have the quality to, and it can come out now. You have to change people at the football club. It will undoubtedly happen. I mean, when he went in at Roma, 30% of the workforce went immediately. They were gone, cut away, because they'd done a quick assessment. You weren't, there was too much of a drag on the business, as John would say, and they changed up that. All of this happens. It happens every football club. But hopefully we'll be in a better place. There's good people at Everton Football Club that need the opportunity to grow and do things, and how many have been held back. We need some new thinking. We can talk about Friedkin Moshiri's era, and we can say he's made this mistake and that mistake, and he has. We couldn't sit here and say anything different. He has also, because of him, and his legacy should be, and I know a lot of people be angry, and I'm angry with what's happened to my football club under his watch. But there's this big thing that's down on the banks of the Royal Blue Mersey, which will be his legacy, and should absolutely be his legacy.
No, that'll be his legacy.
But even before that, and this is not being, I hope it's not being disrespectful to Bill Kenwright, but there was a way of thinking that never changed during Bill Kenwright's ownership of Everton Football Club. But yet everybody else, Bill Kenwright might have been a better owner of Everton Football Club from 1970 to 1990, say. When he was 20 years in charge of a football club, it might have worked a lot better in that era. The era since the Premier League started, football's changed. Football's changed massively in the last 15 years. And Everton have still been, the feel of Everton is still very much like the feel of Everton was at the end of the 90s. And it needs rewriting the whole script.
It's a club that is stuck in the past. If you ever gone in like one of those, ever gone somewhere and you walk into one of those hotels and it just, you almost feel.
What I was going to say to you, and this is obviously very, very Disney themed reference.
Yeah.
It feels like the Hollywood Tower of Terror for me when I walk on Everton and you see like the desk with all the cobwebs on and we're frozen in time. That reference is like that with Everton. It's like as if something's happened and we're just stuck.
Or it's like I was going to say, it's like one of those hotels you go into and you just feel the dust in the air and you walk in and everything's set in stone and people are very much like the without the lifts falling up and down.
Yeah, you don't want that to happen. Yeah.
But that's what it feels like. It feels like feels like, or even though it's massively edited, like those Gordon Ramsay things in America.
Oh yeah,
they go in and they will not change this. We've done this we've served this dish for 30 years and no one's complained. It's like, it's
20 minutes later it's gone, the dish.
Everton needs to massively get into the new world. Massively into the new world. Fans see that. Fans who go to away games, I imagine, see that all the time. As I said, going to when you go to new grounds or you see different fans, or as I said, last game of the season, being at Arsenal, just seeing the complete culture difference, was not eye-opening but it reaffirmed that thing of they have almost led their fans into the new not the other way around. We as a fan base, I think we are trying to push our club forward and have been for some time. But I think proper football clubs try to push their fans forward and say, we're making decisions and that's the end of it. We are, whereas Everton for years have been, can't make that decision. Whereas I think sometimes fans need to be led in the right direction. And, when you have these things of, our fans don't like to do this or our fans don't like to do that. Well, if you've got a forward-thinking people at the football club who go, no, that's what we're doing, because I believe that's the right decision to take us forward, and I can back it up by doing this or doing that. If I build a new stand or I decide that we're doing this kit deal or whatever it is, it's on the fans to come with us on that. And some of that might be nice at times, because that might come to certain elements in football, like the prices of tickets and things like that we might not necessarily like. But there's other things in football, like when we go to the new ground and we've got the fan zone and things like that. Everton should be doing everything they can not to encourage, but almost make Everton fans go, this is the place to be.
Yeah.
This is the place to be. We're sorry that, you know, what we left behind, and we're sorry for the local businesses, but we are the only business that actually matters. That's the way you have to think as a football club.
You have to think. People will still go to other places. People will still go to Bramham.
What I'm saying
pub,
is,
Murphy's, blah, 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 blah. But if you get a big core of Everton's match day routine is in the fan zone, then it creates, to quote John Blaine, wallet share.
And you've got to make, but you've got to make that happen, haven't you? You've got to say, we are doing this and we are doing that and we are doing the other. Every match day to make our fans come here to go, oh, did you see that thing that happened before the game? Was amazing, or they had this guest, or they had this band playing, and it's not just a, you know, it's just not just a local band on the way up. It's someone who's actually already, you know what I mean? There's loads of different things.
Loads of things. Get the footy on.
Yeah, imagine that. Imagine getting the footy on.
That might be in the thing. Toffee Place.
A few people in the comments saying that they have got connections with Apple because of a lot of the stuff they do are exclusives. Killer Moon and stuff like that was an exclusive, wasn't it? Yeah, so that's not bad, is it?
Get Apple to do the documentary.
Yeah.
For the final season at Goodison. Toffee Place says, are we going to be second fiddle to Roma now? No, I think Roma may well become second fiddle to Everton because of the Premier League, not because of Everton.
But what I look at it is I think it's only two clubs.
Yeah.
It's not like a pyramid scheme.
Your own can as well.
Why can't both clubs work
hand in hand
and just independently of each other?
One of the things that have come out today from Italy is his vision, and this is obviously being leaked, is that he wants Everton moving forward and Roma to adopt a strategy of players under 23 to build. I mean, it's almost as if, you know, he's listened to us going on about it and listened to other people like Andy the Piv and people like that who've been saying for ages, you know, one of our avid messages, Steve P, those kind of people, go and get these younger players. Don't be afraid. You've said it loads of times, is that don't be afraid to sell players. So it's going to sound quite ironic given that we don't want to sell Jared Brantwaite, but what I mean is if Everton targeted four young players, that vision should be very much like Brighton and go, well, one of these we want to sell within 2 years because we want them to pop.
Yeah.
One of them, we might sell another and it might be two, but the other two, we want to be established first team, or one for us, one to sell, one for the squad, and one might make it because he's a bit of a gamble, but you know, if we play him a few times, we'll get our money back on him. That kind of model. We don't want to always get to the summer and go, Pedro, can we keep this player? It's about selling a player.
It's about selling a player on your terms, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not. Look at the difference, right? So look at the difference in the two sales of, or the speculation surrounding Jared Brantwaite and the speculation surrounding Caicedo last summer. The media were actively pushing that it had to be record breaking. They wanted it. They wanted it to be a record breaking. This is brilliant for football because Liverpool are after him and Chelsea are after him, and it has to be record breaking. Brantwaite, the media is trying to sell him the client journalism for less than £50 million. So what's the difference? Why is that? Because they smell blood in the Everton story. They know Brighton is all right. So
but it's also Manchester United.
No, Manchester. So it is that thing of like, if you are going to sell players, you sell them what you want to sell them for, and if they don't go otherwise. And this is what Brighton have been doing brilliantly, is that we don't need to sell, but we will sell because it's part of our business model. But he only goes for the record fee, and that's the end of it. And that's the position you've got to get yourself into if you're going to sell. If you're going to sell players to clubs, but I just think that, for me, I think the clubs can work hand in hand. I really do.
I don't think it's a case of,
because this idea of Roma being a bigger club than Everton isn't true. You know, they've only actually won Serie A 3 times.
Yeah, it's nonsense.
And the last time they won it was 2001 when on Totti. They've won the Coppa Italia 9 times. That's more than us. They've won the Conference League. So that's the equivalent to the Cup Winners' Cup, really, isn't it? As the third trophy in a way. So this idea that they're a bigger club than Everton it's not real. really, because they're like the fourth or they're like fourth or fifth biggest club in Italy. They are in the capital, so that gives them that extra bonus. They do have another club that are in there with Lazio as well, so that's obviously so there's a lot of similarities between us and them. But this idea that they're a bigger club than us just isn't real. It isn't real. So both clubs should really have equal footing, and there shouldn't be this. There doesn't need to be a hierarchy between them.
No, not at all. Oz on the super chat says, I agree the whole family club system needs to go. No more giving jobs to former players just because they're former players. It's now a business. And that also, though, doesn't mean that some former players don't get jobs if they're good enough to do whatever that job is. Yeah. Do it? If they're not, fair play. But definitely in terms of, we have got to become a bit of a hard-nosed business now to drive forward. I don't think we can be everything to everyone. And what I mean by that is, us as fans, we can't say, no, we don't want that. We want it the way it used to be. Because the way it used to be hasn't won us anything. Football's gone. We can't moan. If you go, I want it the way it used to be, and then you never ever moan the fact that Everton aren't very good, and we have to sell players, and we're in relegation battles, and we might go down some seasons. Fine, I'm not going to tell you to want something different. That's up to you. But we can't want it the way it used to be and hope to be successful, hope to have a better team to watch on the pitch, hope to have better brand stuff and all of that. We all are responsible for getting together and driving our football club forward. And hopefully these new owners are the right ones to do it. They seem quite good. What they've done at Roma, which is all you can do, has worked really well. Roma have progressed. Roma have been in 2 European finals in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, one of them, hopefully that's what we'll do, and we'll get there by getting those younger players and progression with it. In my opinion.
Just going back to that question, I don't think Everton are full of ex-players. I think every club puts ex-players. Bayern Munich and the likes of Dortmund have ex-players at the top of their clubs, in really important roles. I don't think our clubs are wash with those at the moment, are they? And James Vaughan is the only one, and he done the work at Tranmere.
And there's quite a few people trying to take James Vaughan from Everton.
And he has literally started at the bottom. And the idea is that he does work as well. And I know he's on the second run of the ladder now. I don't think the clubs will always, if there's coaches available, clubs will always want, like Leighton Baines has just qualified for the top coaching badge, hasn't he? So he's done the hard work at Everton. Surely we'd want Leighton Baines as our coach rather than, say, Ashley Cole. Because Leighton Baines knows the identity of our football club. Don't forget, if a player's at your club and he's been there, if Seamus Coleman retires next year, he's already started his coaching journey. We want Seamus Coleman staying at Everton, don't we? Yeah. We want that identity. We want all that knowledge, all that know-how remaining at our football club. We don't want to just let it go, because that's a fella who's been a professional footballer for 15 years, is on the coaching journey and understands Everton more than anybody. We want that at our football club, surely. So I do get the jobs for the boys thing, but I also think sometimes it's really important to keep that DNA within your club as well. It's important to have that for some people as well. So that's it. It's an interesting one.
We do have to move away as well, though, from thinking that it is just giving people jobs.
Yeah,
I think if you qualified for it, you're the best person for the job. Then what does it matter if you've played for Everton or whatever? Why is someone who's played for Derby County or Chesterfield or Vitesse Arnhem in Holland, why are they a better coach than this? Do you know what I mean? I'm sort of, I do agree with you, but I'm saying, but we shouldn't go the other way as well. I don't think that sentiment is there, really. Yeah, I think you have to earn it. You have to earn it now, and I think that has changed, and it has to continue to change. Absolutely, it does.
Do you know, I've just seen it in the comments by Danny, and he's absolutely right.
Come on.
Do you know who would be brilliant for Roma? Michael Keane.
He will be brilliant for Roma.
Chris Smalling apparently is leaving.
Yeah.
Michael Keane. Straight to Roma.
I think you
like
can.
A duck to water. He said,
bit slower.
The football?
The football was a bit slower.
Well, apparently didn't he?
I think he nearly got him, didn't
Wasn't there something about him going to Italy or him to have but he can have an EU passport, can't he? Apparently, through something. Remember that was said a little bit of a while ago. Good shout, Danny. I would. Fab Romano has just broke the news that Jack Harrison is about to sign on loan for another year.
I mean,
no, that's why I did broke the news.
I mean, not exactly breaking the news, is he? We all know, Fab.
Yeah, but there's there's loads Everton can do to move forward. Loads. I'm really, there's loads of sides of the club that can be propelled by this. I'm really glad to see that. They're doing a documentary on Seamus, things like that. Been saying that for years. Seeing Mike Taylor, who works at the club, saying brilliant that we're getting an opportunity to do this. I think stuff like that.
Dean says if we make more per game than West Ham, slightly less than Chelsea, we'll net around 40 to 50 million extra a year than at Goodison. Excellent for PSR offering contracts, retaining players and stuff. Absolutely. I think John Blaine said, John Blaine has said that just on a rough estimate, nothing too thingy. Without like saying, we'll get this, just doing like a basic level, it's at about 50 million extra a year. That's huge for us, absolutely huge for our football club. So then when you start getting better commercial deals, and again, we'll say it again, the Castori deal is very good for Everton, 3 times what Hummel was paying. That's really good. Okay, so the challenge is now, can we repeat that with other stuff? Isn't it? That's what the challenge is.
You expect we will, because of, again, everything's magnified. Everything's magnified by going into the new stadium and what what that can help. Castori will have I know a lot of it's down to fanatics, but they'll have a store down there at the shop, and I don't know whether it'll just sell Everton gear or whether there might be a little Castori corner as well. But they'll have a shop down there at the brand new stadium, and where people will be going down to anyway. That footfall, because we all love Goodison, but we know we're only going to Goodison if we're going to Goodison. If that makes sense. There's no idea of people just. We'll go for a walk. Where should we go? Well, let's go down the front. And you end up at the stadium. That new walkway's just been opened between the Princess Parade and the Yalaman Ferry Terminal, which basically will connect. That's just open. That'll connect the whole waterfront, and I believe they're going to open a couple more further down to our stadium. And you'll be able to walk all the way from the Albert Dock down to our stadium. And as long as there's things there for people to go and see and walk past, and that people will do that. It will become a place. It will become a place people will want to go to.
It's gonna be great. Andy, nice one. I know the unsecured thing, but thanks very much for that. Nathan says, give the video a like, people. You absolutely should. Scandalous that there isn't more likes, to be fair, which takes a second. There you go. Nathan says, I'd be made up if we got Diddy. But for me, once again, I have to say this because
they win a game master.
Because the likes have made me feel like this. Oh, hang on, sorry. Let's go again. If you haven't liked it, this is the reason. This is what my answer to you is. Okay,
everyone, right?
It's embarrassing. It's a disgrace. That's what it is. A disgrace.
There you go. Mikel messaged me before and I said, what happens?
How much more can you get out of that clip?
No, I've got last night, just 7.
Keep going.
7 last night.
You just pull out for Zach?
All of them got it last night when he said something. Make that fit. No, I'll make a cup of tea. I'll do it in a minute. It's come out 7 times.
You need like one. Remember, you could get the key rings.
Yeah,
you could be like Cartman.
Yeah.
You can just press the button.
Well, Mikel sent me that before. To do with people not liking the stream or subscribing to both channels that we've got.
Everyone, hang on. Can we just take a minute for everyone to just press the like button? Just take a minute. Take a minute, girl. Just what's been happening? Take a minute.
What are we on? 31 seconds there. Another 30 to go.
Yeah. If it doesn't get to 300, we're just going.
Okay. We're going.
No.
That's why we're going.
No, we're going if it doesn't get to 300.
Okay.
There's 1,100 people watching. If this does not get to 300, we're just stopping the stream.
Right, I'm gonna count to 8, and it better be.
It's like
1,
literally free, and you just press a button. Come on.
2.
Come on.
3. There's 5 seconds.
Come on.
4. 5. 6. 7. I've even given
22 to go. Come on.
Give you a bit longer.
22 to go. Come on.
Right.
4 to go.
Oh,
4 to go.
it,
No, 4
bin
to go. 4 to go. There might be a delay on us saying it to them getting it. See?
Oh, I'm with you.
Go on.
Okay.
Go on.
Okay.
Go on. Yeah. Continue.
All right, carry on.
Continue. Thank you.
Okay.
Shouldn't need to do that though.
No, it's a disgrace. That's what Mikel said. It's embarrassing. It's a disgrace. Someone made a really good point before. Surely we can get a Bosch friendly with Roma.
Yeah.
It'd be good, wouldn't it? Because that would be a good game. They're a good side. Really good. Thank you very much, everyone who did like. Thank you very much for all the original likers of the stream without being asked. Thank you very, 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 very much, as they said. Andy says positive to see the club getting business done. I mean, I don't know about the profanity. What was that?
Did A-Drog with it, kicking off.
All right, okay. Bit ash. Emma says, feel the club's been pretty grim for a good few years. Gone are the days of jobs for the boys. We have to get with the times. Youth is proof sentiment is not enough. Just got to. We've got to do it all, haven't we? Simon says, lads, as long as we're still Everton and the feel of the club doesn't change, bring it on. Well, that's it. It's up to the fans to keep the feel of the club. But it's also up to, and I know, listen again, I keep saying, the fans do this and the fans have kept the club up. But what I mean is we do always have to be the standard bearers, though. We always have to hold the values and go, no, this is Everton Football Club. Not this that you've allowed it to get to. This is Everton Football Club up here. And that's where you'd have to aim. Yeah. And you've got to aim.
And that's massive, isn't it? That's what we always talk about. It's what we've always been part of. People call it moaning. I don't see it as moaning. I think if we don't keep the standards, who does keep the standards?
Yeah, exactly. Steve P's right, though.
Is he?
The first thing that they have to do when they come in is get Beto a proper size shirt. Yeah. Or if he's staying. They've got to. He cannot continue another season with that shirt.
Not because that'd be down to this.
Whoever it is, I don't care.
I seen a thing yesterday online. It was an old England shirt, and it had all these different sizes, and one of the sizes just PC in it, and it just meant it was a shirt made for Peter Crouch.
Okay.
So maybe we could do the same with Beto.
Possibly. I think so. But yeah, Steve also said it's not Roma aren't bigger than Everton, but they are a big Italian club, and you're absolutely
no. Yeah, Everton are a big English club. We've just lost our way.
Two big clubs. The friendly would be Bosch, though. I think
we've lost our way, haven't we? They are a big club, but we're a big club as well. It's just that Italian football and English football are different, because Italian football fans wear their heart on their sleeve, and we know all the stories about the ultras and everything. We're not like that over there. We're a bit more subdued, aren't we? But there's an idea in this country that Everton, little old Everton, we are massive. We are a massive football club. We have fans all over the world. We have fans all over this country, all over United Kingdom. We are a massive football club. Too often we do ourselves a disservice.
Like last couple, Tiaz says, afternoon, both. I'm very positive about Dan the man, not least because he wears a lot of navy blue and flies planes like a boss. Just wanted to say I'm all for the Dobbin move, as I totally agree with Ped's point the other day. We don't have the time or money to carry potential that's in its 20s. We've done this for years and it never works. Yeah, okay. Where are we? Everton Viking says, at first I was quite dubious about them because of the multi-club model, but the fact they're making over 11 billion each year as a family show that they know how to run the Stretch Club, turn them around, good businesses and all that.
He's on the thing as well, isn't he? He's on the Isn't he on not the UEFA committee, but he's on the club committee, isn't he? I think as well.
Is he?
Yeah.
Tom Blue says, as you guys have previously said, we are a fan base literally waiting to pop. I actually think the new owners will be great for us, to be honest. And Paul Callow says the Isle of Man ferry terminal will be open before the end of this month, Ped.
Boss.
There you go. So, all good. It's all good. Right, we are going over to, the link will be here. We're doing a watch-along over on More Than a Game. So, if you're watching the footy this
ECA
afternoon...
board member, that's what he is. ECA.
Oh, the European Club thing. Okay, sound. Why don't you watch Slovakia and Ukraine?
Oh, it's going to be a corker.
With us.
And then the one after that's going to be even better.
No, it's a belter. Poland, Austria. It's going to be tremendous. No Michalenko for the Ukraine. Is he sub? He's not even... Hang on, sorry. Where are we? Subs. Is he on the bench?
Who?
Miko? Yeah, he's sub. He's sub for Ukraine. Still obviously nursing that injury, but that's what we are doing. Slovakia versus Ukraine. Thanks to everyone who's watched today. Thanks for everybody who's liked the stream. Subscribe if you haven't. It means a lot. Thank you very much. Joe Hilland, last couple, says, being an Everton fan for the last load of years has been like holding your breath underwater. It feels like now we're getting up for a big breath. Tazul likes the sound of the Goodison Ultras. Little T says, all I want from any new owners is that on top of being sound business people, they also like football. Yeah, so it's all good, isn't it? It's all good.
Yeah.
Smithy calls Everton Roma the annexed derby. Alex says, we are the famous EFC. Yeah, so all good, all good. Right, thank you very much, everybody. Take it easy. Like I say, the link is there. Stay with us and watch the EVERTON, and we can chat more during the Ukraine game, which will be on in 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's right.
Thanks, everybody. Take it easy.
Bye.